Hey guys, check it out. I got a new project. Come see. So what I just got was this pull-behind finish mower. The seller claims it's a 50-inch. I don't know, I didn't measure it. I had put a want ad out that I was looking for a pull-behind mower, and I didn't care whether it ran or not. And this guy came back and said he had one that needed an engine. He had no pictures of it or anything. So I just said, hey, will you take 150 bucks? I kind of lowballed him, and he said, no problem, come pick it up. So I don't know much about it yet. We're gonna get it home and check it out, but it's in much better condition than I was expecting. It's got a little bit of rust, but most of it's on parts that don't really matter. I don't even know, it might turn over. He claims it didn't, but oh yeah, it's locked up. But I have a riding lawnmower with a 10 horse that the mower is kind of junk, but the motor runs great. So I'm really excited about this. I couldn't even make it home before I recorded something. Also, I'm probably gonna stop and spray it off at the car wash before I get it home to get some of the crud off. It was sitting in this guy's machine shed for what looked like quite a while. So. So first things first, this is the donor mobile. It's a Craftsman riding lawnmower with a 10 horse on it. It ran when I parked it, but that's what everybody says. Last summer I used it to mow some, but it's pretty outdated and it doesn't work that great. So we're just going to pull the motor off of it and use it for the big pull behind now. The battery's dead on it, so I had it plugged in overnight. So let's see if it turns over. Yep, carb's gonna need a little cleaning, so we'll pull it apart here. So if there's one thing I've learned in my lifetime of working on junk, it's that if it's not running, it's the carb. And if it's not the carb, it's the carb. Okay, so I pulled the jet out of the bottom of the carb, and it was all rusted up and nasty, and there was some water in the bowl. So I just did a quick clean of it and stuck it back in there before I pull any more off the carb. You know, I like to keep it simple, so if this gets it running, we can tune it later, but I just want to get it to turn over and run a little bit. As you can hear, it's running. It's not running well. That carb definitely needs some more cleaning, but it feels good to get it turned over. I'm gonna let it run and stumble and cough like it is for a little while. Just clear everything out and warm it up. And then I'll pull the bowl off the carb next. That's the next easy thing to do before pulling the entire deal off. So we'll give it a shot. Oh yeah, that carb bowl is nasty. It definitely got some water in it. Gross. So we'll clean it up. That'll help a lot. Now the mower's all up and running like it should be. We're gonna pull the motor off of it and the throttle control and what else? The key switch, the battery, all that good stuff. And then we're gonna bring the rest to the scrapyard and just ditch it. I might save the tires or something, but the rest of it's all gonna be junk. So it'd be nice to get one thing out of the yard. So at first glance I thought it'd be pretty easy just to pop the motor off this. It'd be a few bolts, get a belt off the pulley, and then just strip off quick the parts that I needed as far as the key and the throttle control and everything. Well, it turns out the way this mower is all put together, you basically have to disassemble the entire thing to get the motor off and all the stuff I wanted. So it ended up in about 1 million pieces. Well, this part of the project's done. Got the motor off. I'm not taking this thing to the scrapyard yet. I might still want to pull some parts off of it before the project's over. We'll see. Just drag it out in the yard for right now and pull the other mower in. I have to say this Haban brand mower, which I'd never heard of before, is really well built. And you could tell when this thing was new it was solid. And there was a few things bent up from whoever had this was pretty rough on it. I have a feeling they were dragging it through the woods, mowing trails and things. But overall it was very fixable, nothing was rusted out, and it was just perfect for this project. It was just real, the more I pulled it apart, the more happy I got about my purchase. It was pretty amazing how easy this was. Full pattern lined up on the new motor. I just torched the shaft off the old one, pulley fit right on here. But the new motor's on and ready to go. I've got to figure out where I'm going to mount this throttle and all this. I think I'm going to put it right over the carb on this side. Then it's easy access, and I need to do something about a battery. Okay, so I got the throttle and everything all mounted up where I want it. I super glued the key in so that it won't fall out. That'd be bad. Now what I'm doing is working on a battery location. So the battery is going to sit right here. I used this from the lawnmower. It was a little battery tie down. I'm running a bolt up through here. I'm going to weld it in the back on the back side. Then it'll sit here nice and we can take the battery on and off without having to disassemble the whole mower. Okay, well, we got real redneck with those welds because once again I'm lazy, and so once I got them tacked on pretty good, I just used this to melt off the end of the eye screw so I don't have to deal with cutting it, because when I was walking over here I tripped over my angle grinder and broke the cutting disc off, and I'm starting to run short on time, so that's how we do it. Okay, now it's time to put the pulley on. I measured how far it was off that base plate on the original motor, so we're just going to hammer it on until it gets there. This should be really easy. Alright, so I have the battery mounted and hooked up. I turned the key here, it's not going to fire, but that's because I'm going to need to jump this battery safety switch. I think having it closed is going to be the way we do it, so I think it's a matter of just crossing these wires. So I'm going to just clip them off and do that. Yep, that'll do it. I'm going to strip off all the wires I don't need just to avoid confusion. After every wire I'm clipping, I'm just turning it over to make sure I don't screw anything up. Yep, we're good. Alright, well that was easy. Okay, well I think we're ready for a test run. A huge Chinook helicopter just flew over, like right over my house. It was awesome. Okay, so what I want to do is get this thing started and engage the blades. Just run it for a minute to make sure everything looks good before I put all the guards on. I think everything should be good to go. Look at my parts graveyard. A bunch of this is going to the junkyard, but I'm going to save a couple things. This motor is going for sure. Well, everything seems to be working. I'm going to zip tie up these wires so they don't get caught up. Check the oil, make sure there's enough gas in here, and we're going to hook it up to the four-wheeler quick and try to mow with it, see if it works. I think we're set to go. This thing has an adjustable hitch to raise or lower it, but it looks pretty good enough for this test at least. It actually looks like it's riding about perfect. So I know this guy pulled it behind a four-wheeler before, so maybe he had a similar kind. We're gonna fire it up, try cutting a little bit just to see how it goes. I haven't even looked at the blades, to be honest with you. I hope they're halfway decent, but we'll find out. So thanks for checking out my build here. So I bought this for $150. Honestly, I probably could have got it for $100 from the guy, but I'm still happy. And I put an old mower engine on it that I've had and didn't pay anything for it. $0 in parts, and we got a new mower. One of these brand new is over $1,000, so I'm happy with it. So thanks for joining me here on 144 Projects. I really enjoyed this mower build. I hope you did too. If you liked it, please hit the like button down below and don't forget to subscribe. And also throw a comment down there. You know, if there's anything you'd do differently or anything like that, I'd love to hear it, because a lot of times a second set of eyes just helps a lot. So see you next time.